Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Coastal Boys.
Greetings.
We're previewing the meeting for Monday. How's it,
How's it,
Hilton?
Andrea?
Going down well. I've just got the last remnants of the lurgy, and let's hope it'll all clear up by the end of the
That's
week.
very good. Glad to hear that. I was ready to send the vet round.
As you see, we have our friends Interbet behind us. Welcome on board, guys. Let's kick on with the first race. Welcome to Nelson Mandela Bay, Maiden Juvenile Plate for Fillies, over 1,200 meters. Early betting, 6 to 10, remind me of you, the first timer. 3 to 1, Princess of Agiol. 4 to 1, New Day, who ran a creditable third on Friday. 7 to 1 on the outside, 10s and better. Important scratching number 2, Clara Lume, does not take part as one on Friday. It looks for me a race in 2. Depends how good remind me of you is from the Creefyard. I see Richard chose to ride this, even though it is for Hollywood Racing, so he would have to ride it, even though they're the same owners, Devon Hepper and Ridgemont. New Day is ridden by Charles and Luvu. I'm not sure that she will take part. She had quite a hard race on Friday and ran a creditable third running on. If the 6 is not too good, which she doesn't have to be, because this seems to be quite a weakish field, I think there's only one other runner for me, that's number 5, Princess of Agiol, Craig Zack on board from the Dean Smith yard. The main rivals in Kubecha, Dean Smith and Alan Creef. She ran third behind Power of Peace on her poly debut. And I think if the 6 is not too good, remind me of you, I think she will be the horse to beat, number 5, Princess of Agiol. See if there's more money for remind me of you. My first pick in the race, excluding the 6 because I do not have any knowledge, is number 5, Princess of Agiol. The Mitchley horses, the Mitchley horse, number 4 on the outsides, had eight shots for 4 places, drawn 1, which is a positive, but looks held. And number 7, TP Thunderchild, they've left the money on the table with this horse on debut. They backed it from 8 to 1 into 9 to 10 and finished a disappointing third, 5 lengths behind. Will have to show more for me. So, not for me. I think Princess of Agiol will the first time remind me of you.
Short and sweet from my side, Andrew. Thanks. Remind me of you, obviously, according to the market, should be the one to beat. Jockey arrangements would also indicate that, not that Richard should actually have ridden New Day. But I've got a feeling Alan just left it in to get the race, to keep the race, because New Day's just run now. And he's actually contracted to Ridgemont, so he would have to ride that. So I assume that's going to come out New Day. But anyway, yeah, short and sweet. Remind me of you should win, assuming it's got any sort of ability. Princess of Agiol, the best of the race runners. I can't help with any of the other runners. Over and out.
Race number 2, racing today, Maiden Plate for fillies and mares over 1,000 meters. Another first timer that is favourite. Number 10, Skip the Line, 2 to 1. Rock Up, 3 to 1. 5 to 1, Walk Right In. 7 to 1, American Gem. And England Park, they'll be shouting that in the coming weeks. England for the World Cup. 8 to 1, Truly Magic. 10s and better the rest.
Right. The way I look at this race, Andrew, it looks a very weak field. I think this will skip the line. I like the mother still tapping. I tap it, very good breeding. I don't think this horse has to be too clever to win here, and my gut feel is there's definitely the right one. I mean, Rock Up ran a shocker last time, beaten 4 lengths on debut. The Walk Right In doesn't look too clever either. But just based on that, I think Richard would be the right one here. So yeah, I'm going to go strong 3 to win here with Walk Right In to follow up, and the rest a bit of a cavalry charge.
All right, I see the race a bit differently, funnily enough. I found a bit of value here. I'll get to that in a minute. If this horse was so decent, I thought it would probably be short in the betting, because this does look quite a weak field. He takes on to 2 Smith fillies, Take Me to the Moon and Rock Up. Rock Up, if you give her a last run behind Mortland, which we know is one of the top fillies in Kubecha. Craig Zack on board. Drawn 4, wasn't striding out last start. Forgive that horse. Maybe they found the issue. I think she's probably deserves to be there up there in the betting. The horse that I found at a decent price is number 5, Focal Point. Jason Gates on board. They've put the blinkers on for the first time. She holds a couple of horses that are shorter than her in the betting. behind Pretty Awesome wasn't a bad run on the poly. She's 75% on the distance. She's 66 and 67% on the course. She's two places from 3 starts. And at a decent enough price focal point, at 10-1, you probably get bigger on the day as it's a cactus horse. They do seem to drift. I think she's a nice each way play in a race that, again, we don't know the strength of the first timer. Number 9, Rock Up, fluffed her lines last start. Then we have Walk Right In, which you've mentioned. It's her first run from Cape Town to Quebec. First time in Quebec, first time on the poly. Carl's riding for his dad. She has decent enough form in Cape Town, which normally is quite strong when they bring it to Quebec. The other horse that I think is a bit of an enigma is number 4, Truly Magical. They've had one run with blinkers, and she ran 33 lengths behind Lana View. I know the saddle did slip that day. There was money for her that day, but they've put the blinkers back on. So she must be showing something at work for them to put the blinkers back on. An interesting thought, the horse that I like, each way focal point, actually holds her behind Pretty Awesome. So if the first timer fluffs her lines and Rock Up doesn't bring any forward momentum from her last start, if we forgive her a bad run, I'm going for the value in race. In number 5, focal point from the Cactus Shore, Jason Gates on board. You know he tries his utmost every time. Drawn 7, will sit second or third and hopefully pounce at the right time.
Moving on to race number 3.
You can count, Hilt. Nothing wrong with that, mate. You can bet on us, Maiden Plate for fillies and mares. We're stepping up in trip now to 1,900 meters. The betting is as such. 16-10 Woman in Gold. 3-1 Weekend Start. 3-1 Explosive Gift. 4-1 Salagadula. 7-1 Island Jewel. Non-runner number 2 Fantine, which won on Friday again. 10-1 still winning, and Right Your Own Ticket Night in Japan. A tough race for me. I thought a very, very weakish race. Number 1, Woman in Gold, debuting in Quebec. Stable have another horse in the race, which I probably thought was the stable elect, and hence it is, I think, a decent enough bet. Number 5, Explosive Gift. Craig Zaki rides. Drawn 8, the only slight negative, but will come into Stallgate 7 runners. So drawn 7 from 7, not too bad. She's improved. She ran a decent second behind Missouri Flame last time over the course and distance. She's 100% over course and distance, 2 places from 2 starts. And I think she'll get a 1 behind her name today. She's a 4-year-old out of Lancaster Bomber. Proved every start she's been in Quebec, and I think will take a power of beating number 5, Explosive Gift. And the rest, once I see Salagadula is 4-1, then I know the betting doesn't look right, because that horse has had so many chances. Number 4, Can We Start? Kelly Mitchell's horse, first time in Quebec from Durban, had one run on the Durban poly behind Spanish Jude, and as I said, I'm thinking number 5 is the right one in the stable, and they've got number 1, Woman in Gold, on her Cape Town form. But I'm going with Craig Zaki. I think Craig Zaki would have had the choice. Hence, I'm going with number 5, Explosive Gift. I think will be the horse to beat.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. I disagree with you over on jockey engagements because Craig rides for Dave Shaw, so I think he's got on that horse for that reason, and he has ridden it in Joburg as well. So I think they have priced up the right horse here. I mean, this horse, Woman in Gold, has run very close in Cape Town, and I think it's got the form to win here. But obviously, again, the unknown factor on the poly track, so hence, yeah, it could be either or that or the better one. So it's quite a very tricky race, a bad bunch. I wouldn't be recommending having a bet here. And I mean, if the cock has got rid of Can We Start down to PE, so it can't be it's not too clever. That was beaten 19 lengths and 8 lengths in Durban the last 2 starts. So it's not a race that I could even select anything. But I would, if I was having a bet, I'd be on number 1 on the Cape Town form. I mean, there's good runs to Rosewood, La Patrona, Miss Attitude, Louis Star 4 lengths. It's good enough to win here from the ace gate, as the Durban presenters say. So, yeah, that would be my view of the race. Moving on swiftly to race 4.
just going back, I'm against you. I think the 5 showing the right way forward, and I think a decent runner and a decent price. I think 4-5 to 1 you might even get. I think the favourites could flip flop, but we'll see on the day. We'll move on to race number 4. A merit rated 78 handicap over the 1900 meters, an open handicap. The betting is 4-1 past and present, 5-1 Green Isle, 5-1 Supreme Judge, 6-1 Anatolian Silver, 7-1 Makachev, 8-1 and bigger the rest.
Yeah, I quite like the look of this horse, Green Isle, here, although it's a tough race. Green Isle's it's got some decent form, especially for Quebeca. But again, it's not an easy race, hence they're betting 4-1 the field. 4-5-1 the fields. I would lean towards Green Isle with Richard Furion. A bit of a tricky draw, but I mean, he comes from off the pace on this horse anyway. She comes from off the pace, he being the jockey. So, yeah, it's very tough to get a second selection. Probably Supreme Judge, the stable's very well, and be my second call. Anatolian Silver, also very honest, and the stable's also very well. That would be my third selection. But again, a very tricky race, and I don't want to be guessing any lurkers that I don't really fancy. So that I think punters need to tread cautiously. Either go Supreme Judge, Green Isle, go a little bit of either go thin in the exotics, or you have to pretty much go with vitamin F or field.
Phew, it's amazing how we see races differently. I like past and present. Good debut behind on his poly debut, his Quebeca debut. I know he did run third behind a horse called San Quintin. He wasn't fancied that day. He drifted from 5-2 to 6-1. He tired late. I think he'll strip much fitter, and I think with marked improvement from the first run, I think he is the horse to beat. I understand where you come with number 4, Green Isle. Worry for me with Green Isle. Green Isle done nothing wrong over course of distance, a win and a place, 3 wins on the track as well. The worry for me, she is drawn 10. That is the big worry for me. She does like to race handy, so if Richard can bounce and sit second or third, she must have every chance. Number 3, Duskwood, ran on Friday. Disappointing. She's now gone from a 1400, she's ran 1200, which she won. She now ran a 1400 and disappointed. They've now stepped up to 1900 meters. Wouldn't surprise me if she comes out. I'm not sure if she knows if he knows what day of the week it is over all these different trips. The horse Makachev and Richard the Fearless have met. I'm not sure if that's the strongest of forms. Richard the Fearless holds Makachev. I wasn't sold on Anatolian Silver. Drawn 11, had plenty chances. Been for it once or twice. They did leave the money behind when it ran behind Flaming Homing Pigeon. He does run on late. I think he probably needs further. I don't think the 1900 will suit. Supreme Judge, for me, one race doesn't make a swallow. That run behind Disruptive was over 1600. If I look at it, 2000 form, she ran behind Sylvan Mistress, was disappointing. Again, I'm not sure if the 1900 will suit. For me, I think Past and Present, the horse to beat. And Disruptive has done nothing wrong. 2 wins over 1600, stepping up in trip, draw 9. If stays, he must have a squeak. But I think for me, Past and Present, first pick. And I think expect a big run from Green Isle, even though drawn badly.
Yeah, well, thanks, Andrew. I just worry that Past and Present took so long to win a maiden and it beat Black Petit Platina. So I just worry, how good can it be? So
that was in Durban. I mean, it was very consistent. They had 3 seconds early doors in Kenilworth. Also travelled the country. And they say, what's it? 3rd time's a charm. Cape Town, Durban, Quebeca. Let's hope he's found his place. Cliffy Miller, I think, is a shrewd trainer. Walker from Rensburg riding well. And I'm expecting a massive run. We move on to race 5. Have another cough for a change. Tab 4 racing app of a merit-rated 68 handicap for fillies and mares. We step up the extra 100 metres. We're now over 2,000 metres. The betting is bit of money for number 3, Lornaview from 5s into 4s. 5-1, Spoil Yourself, Chronicles of Narnia, Darling Girl. 6-1, Terminal Velocity. Going the other way, drifting slightly, Preserve Forever now 7-1. 10-1, and better the rest. An open race, this meets us. I put up an each way bet. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I like number 7, Chronicles of Narnia. I think she is a 6-year-old mare now. She's at 24 starts for a win and 12 places on the poly. She's only placed 2 times from 6 over the distance. I think the 2000 now is in her grasp. She's drawn 6. She's got Craig Zaki on board. I hope he has a great day. I like quite a few of his runners. She ran second behind Lana View last start. There's a bit of money for this time. She was not fancied in the betting. She was drawn 11 out of 14. She now comes into 6 out of 11. I think there's enough pace in the race for her to run at. I know the Toro Yard has been a bit quiet, but I'm expecting this horse to run a cracker. And I like the way she's run. She ran a 4th behind Preserve Forever. She flew up late behind Lana View. And I think today will probably be her day. And I think at a decent each way price, I think free money in the place market. Lana View, done nothing wrong. 2 wins from her last 2 starts on the poly. She beat Chronicles of Narnia last start, but there is a way turnaround. The blinkers have been applied again for the last 2 starts, and she's won well. She was wide last start. There was a bit of money for her, outside support, and she did win quite well. But I think let's hope on today's run, Chronicles of Narnia can turn around the last run. Terminal Velocity is a bit of an enigma. He's very consistent. He's only put in 1 bad run of his last 10 starts, but again, another drawn 10. And that's only a short in the betting because it's the Greef and Richard Fourie factor. Of the rest, I think it's a tough race. That's why I'm going for an each way bet on number 7, Chronicles of Narnia. Go, Craig Zaki.
Yeah, I can be with you on that, Andrew. That's definitely a serious runner. I mean, that would also probably be my first choice with Welsh Starlet. I mean, Chronicles of Narnia, the draw beat her last time, and she's got the form in the previous start, also drawn 9 out of 9. Look at this Fillies draws, 12 out of 12, 9 out of 12, 9 out of 9, 11 out of 14, and not beaten far. Excellent form on the poly last 2 starts, very hard to fault. Telling jockey engagement, so I can be with you. That's also my first choice. But I think this filly Welsh Starlet is the one under the radar in this race. I know it's just a tricky draw, but comes from off them on that form line to Preserve Forever. There's not much between them, and this horse is actually run just behind Spoil Yourself of Richard Fourie, of Chad Little. Spoil Yourself has gone up favourites. It's got to be a runner at the value price of around 10 to 1. Welsh Starlet for me, the danger. But I can be with you. I'll go with you on the first choice, Chronicles of Narnia. Welsh Starlet to come out second best, but a very tough race. I mean, nothing to sell the dog on.
Yeah, I'm worried about Welsh Starlet to the draw. I just thought, and I thought probably needs further as well because she won over 2200. She has won over 1900, beating Sesame. The one we haven't mentioned is Missouri Flame, User Ramsden on board. Also there or thereabouts on the Lana View, but held on the last run. Let's hope Craig Zaki can bring home another winner for us on the day. We move on to race 6. It's a tab for racing.com middle stakes. The betting is Global Alley 3 to 1, 3 to 1 Porphyria, 4 to 1 Sylvanian, 5 to 1 Laguna Verde, 6 to 1 George Handel, 12s and better the rest.
Well, they're not making it any easier for us here, Andrew. It's very difficult to pick one specific horse out, but I think the exotic players, they got to obviously Global Alley deserves to be at the top of the boards. Serious runner. Porphyria, very consistent. Stables well. Sylvanian, Laguna Verde got the claimer on. Excellent form since coming from Gauteng. George Handel, stables a bit flat, but not an easy race. I can't separate these horses. So I'd be thumb sucking, and I don't want to do that. That's not the business that how I operate or how you operate. So I don't want to pick one. But if I had to lean, I'd probably go towards Richard Fourie to pull some magic out the hat here, out the bag for Global Alley. But very, very tough race. I mean, there's a few horses, even like Brendan James. He's got a heart bigger than Mount Everest. So you can't even discount him on his day. And the stable's also well. So very tough race, and I suggest you tread very cautiously here.
Crazy how we see things differently. My arrow on the day, my best bet, and I think at a massive price of 3-1 Porphyria, has done nothing wrong. 3 from 3 over course and distance. 4 wins and 7 places from 18 starts over the distance. Yeni on board. Beat Sion the Conqueror in a penultimate run. Behind Zenovi last start. Zenovi, we know, one of the top horses in Port Elizabeth from the Handicap yard. I'm not worried about the 1600 meters. I think it is right up his alley. The only slight worry I would have is that he's 7 years old. He seems to be getting better with age. I mean, he's loved PE, Quebecer. He loves the poly. I mean, he's only missed once on the poly. And I think he will stake his claim on Monday, and I think he'll take a power of beating. I know there are a lot of horses with form. Sylvanian, Craig Zaki on board, drawn 10, the Worry, Laguna Verde, Volmine Fourie. She won on this horse last start, beating Johnny Drama, leading from the front. So we should know there's going to be a pace which will set it up for Porphyria. He'll sit in probably second or third in the box seat, as he does like to race Andy. And then we have number 2, Global Alley. Lance Sherrill and his mom own this horse, done very well in Quebecer. There's 3 wins and 7 places from 15 starts. But he seems to get lost in races, and he's always there and thereabouts. And I think he's also getting on his age. He's a 7-year-old. For me, I think he probably needs further at this stage for Richard to get out the best out of him. Brendan James, then it depends what Brendan James turns up. Can trounce a field like this, but he's carrying 63, so carrying quite a lot of pudding and drawn 8. For me, it's all about Porphyria. I think Muzieni, right jockey, right time, and I think that run behind Zenovi just cements it for me. An extra 200 meters from the last run, and I think will take a power of beating. And that's for me in the race, which you see quite difficult. George Handel, enough chances. All about number 3, Porphyria from the Kelly Mitchell yard. Muzieni on board. She farms winners for Mr. Governor. Let's hope it's another one on the day.
Okay,
Moving
pressing on. Race number 7.
To race number 7. 84 handicap for fillies and mares over 1,200 meters. The betting is joint favourites of 3. They make it an easy race. Kings again, Genevieve, and Morphelia, all 4-1. 6-1, Sweet Julia. 7-1, Arashi and Magical Butterfly. 10s and better, the rest. Tricky race. Tricky race. I'll go through a few of the runners. I do have a fancy, which I'll tell you in a second. One of the 4 runners from the Dean Smith yard, took it rides, coming from Gauteng, as you would say, Johannesburg, for the uneducated like myself. Some solid enough runs, likes to lead. 1 over 1160, which is a strange distance. Not often do the Peters get rid of their horses. She could be anything, but a 3-year-old filly carrying 61, I'm going to give that a skip. Kings again, another one of the Greve horses, hasn't won for 304 days, been there and thereabouts, ran a length behind Cheerio Baby. She'll be running on at the start. Richard Fourie rides. Worry is that she's drawn 12. Not a very good draw over the 1,200 meters, a very bad draw, in fact. And even in her run style, she likes to run 4th or 5th and then try and come with a run. Hasn't won for 304 days. The draw, the Worry, but she is a decent sort, and she's been running lots of places. She should be in the shout-out. She should be in the shake-up, but not for me today. Genevieve has improved leaps and bounds since coming to Quebec. She's had 4 wins for the Kelly Mitchell yard Muzieni rides. She has risen 20 points since coming to Quebec. She's got the form in the book, 2 wins and a 3rd over course and distance. Never missed a place, 4 wins and 2 places at the track. So she seems to have farmed the races at the track. And I think she is a runner, but I think the handicap, I say that every time, I think might have caught up with her. And the one that I think will run a big race, and I'd be having an each way bet, I think we'll get 5-6-1, is number 7, Morphelia. Use Ramsden rides, drawn 6 for the Justin Snaith yard. She's had 2 runs in Quebec, once on the turf, which she won, beating Strange Music, and then a half a length, just failing next start on the poly. She has the blinkers on again. She came with a strong late run. I think there's enough pace in the race which will suit her, and I think she's a massive runner, number 7, Morphelia. I know she's currently 4-1, a free place bet for me, and I think we probably get better on the day. The money probably come for Genevieve. I see Sweet Julia is quite short in the market. She won on her second last start on the poly. She's had quite a few breaks. She's been quite consistent. She is only a 2-time winner. She has the services again of Craig Zaki. She's drawn 2, which is a positive. Not sure if she's up to this class just as yet. She's, and drawn 2 is a big positive. That's why she's probably so short in the betting. But it's all about number 7, Morphelia. For me, I think she ran a massive race, and I think she probably has the big merit rating riser to beat number 5, Genevieve, who's risen 20 points since coming to Quebec.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Very, very tricky race. This was a Rashi. He's got excellent form in Joburg, and like you say, they probably sent it down to PE because I don't know. Like you say, they don't often do that. This horse is not a bad animal. I know him from Joburg. He's got the 4-claimer on. Dean Smith could have got him. Sorry, could have got her right. I would probably lean towards this horse being my first choice. I think he can step out. 1200 is the right trip. I think they'd be going a touch far because she can lead. That's not a problem. So I think 1200 right trip, claim 4 on this could be the lurker. So this is my lurker in the race. But it doesn't stop there. Kings again, big chance. Vifa, big chance. Your horse, Morphelia, obvious chance. Snake doesn't go there for a haircut. Yeah, but again, not an easy race. I'll lean towards the number 1 horse, Rashi, to win. To skip and win this race, with Kings again being the danger and your horse fighting it out, Morphelia. But not an easy race, and I would suggest the punters play with a piggy bank and not their full bank balance here.
I think that was Morphelia has stayed down. I don't believe she's travelled back and forth. So I think she probably acclimatised a bit more.
Yeah, but
we
what
move
I
on
mean
to
is,
race 8.
Yeah.
Yes?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I
Dean has
understand that.
four runners.
Sorry?
Sorry?
No, I was going to say, yes, the
Interjecting.
horse has stayed there, but Justin doesn't place a horse in PE if he doesn't give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to have a big chance.
That's it.
Moving on
I think
to
the
race
betting
8.
will, just going back to race 7, sorry, Hilton. I think the betting will be a big indicator how strong a rush is fancied or not. Because they do have 4 in this, they do have 4 runners in the race. Take note, if she's drift, maybe it's not today, maybe she's still acclimatizing. She hasn't won for 470 days. I think for me, it's a bit of a leap of faith. I'd rather go the horses that have the form in the book. Moving on to race 8, Lucky Last. Next race meeting, we'll be back for that Friday the 12th of June, 64 handicap for fillies and mares. We're over 1,400 meters to close the day. We have Casperita 2-1, 4-1 Free Will, 7-1 Blowing in the Wind, 10-1 Red Lasser, Black Path, and Four Smarky. Write your own ticket, the rest.
So a very tough race, Andrew, to close up here. They don't make it easy for us in Quebec, but I'm going to tip. I've tipped on my slide at the end of our show here a little bit of a lurker, and I'm hoping this horse can do Peter Wrench's proud here in PE. I know he's building up his string, and he is a good trainer. He just doesn't get many opportunities, but he knows how to turn out a horse. I like this horse's form. 2 lengths Aminato, yeah, not bad. And if you look actually at her form in Cape Town, she's run some decent races, and I think he's got her ready now. Came from 11 lengths back last time to only get beaten 6 lengths, drawn 11 out of 12 with Bongani up, put Ramzan up, drawn 3 on the paint. I'm not saying it's put and take, but I expected her to be in the shake-up each way at the value price of 12s. But a very difficult race to close. I mean, obviously, there's horses like Blowing the Wind that's got a chance with Lunga Gila. Big runner, beaten 2 lengths last time, and it doesn't stop there. So the Casperita's obvious chance, 6 lengths Marchland, deserves to be favoured, but yeah, not an easy race. And I don't know if I'd be falling over my feet to back Casperita, but obviously you've got to respect the fact that Alan took took her to Cape Town, so you must think she's pretty decent. But yeah, I don't think she ran it well at all on the poly last time, so I won't be falling over my feet to back her, but obvious chance, difficult race. I'd have to leave it to you, the guru, to be first.
Thanks for those kind words, Yilta. It all hinges around Casperita. Juvenile, taking on the older company. She's done nothing wrong. I mean, 6 lengths behind Marchland is a good run in a listed race last start. She ran a length behind Obsidian Star. They took her to Cape Town where she ran 5 lengths behind Red Spice. Red Spice came out in the tell the other day and ran third in a big race. She won her debut by 6 lengths. I would prefer her on the turf. The poly, I don't think there's any issue. The key is that she's drawn 2. The worry is that she's a juvenile, taking on older horses, carrying 61 kilos. That is the major worry for me. She's not bumping the strongest of fields.
Yes.
I think the yardstick is number 1, Ocean Flame. Baba Shadu on board. Does get 2.5 kilos. He's been quite solid, a win and a second over course and distance. Wouldn't surprise me if she's there and thereabouts. Of the others, Red Lasser just won an open maiden, beating Salagadula. You know how I feel about Salagadula. Number 6, Blowing in the Wind, I think has the coming on look. Positive there's drawn 1, but has been slow away in her last 4 starts. I like the run behind Cheerio Baby. She's got the coming on look. Then we move on. Number 2 favourite. This is the one that I think is incorrect in the betting. I don't think the 1400 is the right trip. Number 7, Duncan McKenzie trains. Free World. She's drawn 4, the positive. Craig Zaki will be rooting for him the whole day. She did bleed on her 3rd last start behind Cape Capri. They're stepping up to 1400. Not sure it's the right trip. Not sure. I think she's wrong in the market, and she's taking 20% of the market in the betting. The betting, for me, seems wrong. I agree with you, Black Path. I would like to have seen Peter have a winner already. His run on Friday was a bit disappointing. Never really got in the race. Drawn 3. Forgive the last run of a 1600 was drawn 11 out of 12. She is, as you say, I think an each way bet. And I think if the favourite fluffs her lines, I think the 2 runners that will be the most danger are number 6, Blowing in the Wind, and Black Path. And it's all about her fluffing her lines. She could start very short, or she could drift, as we've seen a lot of the career forces. They either harden or drift. They either harden or drift. They don't. There's something wrong in the betting here. I'm not sure. I can't put my finger on it. Something's going to start much shorter. It's either Casperita or one of the 7 or 10 to 1 shots. And I think it's probably number 9, Black Path, or number 6, Blowing in the Wind. I think Free World will drift. As I said, she is probably the best horse in the field, but she is a juvenile, carrying a lot of pudding. And I think it'll be a leap of faith to be back her 2 to 1. I'd rather be having an each way bet on either Black Path like you, or the horse that I think will come forward is number 6, Blowing in.
Yeah, I agree with you. Blowing in the Wind is definitely a big runner, yeah, Andrew. That is definitely from the ace gate. That's a serious runner.
Yeah, and I don't think the ace gate is the key here because she's been coming from off them. So sometimes the ace gate for horse that comes with them can be a negative as they concertina as they jump from the stalls. But I think the run behind Genevieve is a strong enough run, and I think it's probably all about, does Casperita, can she carry the weight? Is she as good as they think to put a juvenile against older horses? And but a tough race to end the afternoon. But an interesting card for a Monday. Let's hope the pools are big. And don't forget, you can have your tote bets, your place accumulators, your pick 6, your jackpots, all on Interbet. You can take doubles and trebles on Interbet. They have the prices on the morning. They are an exchange, so you often get better value on Interbet than the normal bookmakers, as some people do like to offer if they have opinions. But it's a one-stop shop: sports betting, race betting, tote. And thank you, Interbet.
Right.
Thanks everybody.
So much,
stay safe. Be lucky. And we look forward to another podcast on Monday. We'll be previewing the Kenilworth meeting for you, which is on Tuesday. Have a good weekend. Hope you find lots of winners and be safe.
Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thanks, Hilton.